Let you know. Let you know. Let you know. Let you know.
Yes. Welcome to the Let You Know podcast. I'm your boy EK. And of course, I always got NOOZ with me.
What up, though? What up, though, y'all? I appreciate y'all been joining us. And what up, though, EK? How you doing?
Doing good.
Gotta tell them the first thing we gotta tell them off top, though. We gotta tell them to like and subscribe off top. We need
yes, like and subscribe. Please, like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody watching so far. And, just helping to let you know show out. And we got a special guest today. We got Ryan Null. Null, is that Null? Is I'm saying it right?
Yep, it's Null, Null.
Null.
Hello, everyone. My name's Ryan Null. I'm from Southern Indiana, about 40 minutes away from Evansville, Indiana, about 3 hours away from Indianapolis. I've got 3 boys. I've been married for 15 years in August. I write epic fantasy. Thank
Congratulations.
you. It's been a long road, but I'm pretty happy. We've had our ups and downs, but, God bless. So,
right.
I write epic fantasy, spicy romancy, and I'm currently writing a vampire and werewolf novel for Australian publisher. So I've got a growing newsletter. I will be going to London this year, and I'll be going to India next. And I've got a growing amount of followers and people and readers. So yeah, keep me busy.
That's good. So tell us a little bit about the London trip. You heading out to London?
Yeah, so there's a gala over there. I've got some street team people, but I've also got readers in the UK that read my epic fantasy series. I've got the republishing of book 1 and then book 2 coming out this year by my Canadian publisher. And then my Spicy Romancy series will be published in India. I've got another publisher there doing that. So I've got some friends and stuff in London and readers. So I'm going to go over there for a gala. And there's movie directors and producers I'm going to be pitching my series to. Hopefully try to get a movie out of it. So yeah.
Stuff.
Nice.
Right?
Let me ask you this, Ryan. Let me ask Ryan a question real quick. Why do you think your novels and everything is hitting over in London? Why do you think it's popular with them more than America or any other country, I should say?
I don't know. I've got some friends over there that really love what I'm doing. I do give it back a lot to the community and local business and local authors. I do in my newsletter, and I try to help anywhere I can. I do sponsor a lot of community programs and youth. Really big in youth and teachers and librarians and things like that. So I think it's just I'm a real person, and I try to give back. And if you love Dungeons & Dragons or Lord of the Rings or Eragon, then people love my stuff. So
yeah, that's exactly the vibe I got. That's exactly the vibe I got when I went to the website. Like I said, Dungeons & Dragons. Like I said, I haven't watched that show that you're talking about, but I know it's very popular. King of Thrones or whatever it's called, King of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that type of vibe is what I got. So I was like, okay, yeah, he that's a market. That's a big market. So shout out. I hope you get, like I said, that movie. That's definitely a big possibility right there. So shout out to you.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I do. When the kids go to bed, we have it on Blu-ray. So I've got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and my oldest works all the time. But my younger 2 are still, wanting to be wild and young kids. So when they go to bed, we do, because Game of Thrones is definitely a mature audience.
But Dungeons and Dragons, that's old school. Like, a lot of people don't really know about Dungeons and Dragons in this era. If they do, they probably know a lot about sorcery and magic, in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is probably 50 years old. It's very comparable to like Dragonlance books, which Dragonlance is kind of like old written English books, I guess you'd say, because they're older time period. And they became 40 years old this year, but it's that epic high fantasy, clean fantasy realm. But I mean, I created my map myself, and I can write 300 books in the map, and I still have to make a map of the first age, because the current map only covers 2 ages. It doesn't cover all 3 ages. And just in that one map now, I can make, I can write over 300 books. So I'm hoping to keep it going and keep writing.
So wait a minute. You said you got a book. You writing a book right now? What's the current book you writing? What's it called?
So I haven't found a title yet. I've still got to come up with a title, but it's a vampire and werewolf novel, basically, where they come out into the world and the world realizes that they were always here. But it's for a publisher in Australia as part of a collaboration event with other authors and part of a bigger series. So it'll be published in Australia.
Let me ask you this. Is your wife your biggest critic?
Yes. So she was one of my first editors, and she loved it. But man, she went through those manuscripts like crazy, and I mean, we still got the original ones where we've got tabs and notes, and she just marked all over those things.
Right.
You said she was your editor. Oh, stuff.
Yeah, so I actually wrote the Flare Chronicles in high school, and then I wrote the prequels in 8th grade. And then I kind of stashed it away. You get married and have kids and life kind of happens. But then she found it one day and she was like, hey, what's this? And then I told her. So then she started going through it, and then she edited it, and she loved it. So she was definitely editing it and marking it through and that. But she more or less was kind of my first editor in the sense of really going through it and making it, kind of what it is today. So, and she don't read, but she loves my books. So
that's all that matters.
You said she don't read.
No. No, we've got a ton of books, but she loves movies or series better. More movies than anything, but she loves reading my stuff. So I'm about one of the only ones.
Well, my next question for you is, I was asking, what prompts you to want to start writing newsletters and putting books together, to be an author? Like, what was your passion? Did you like reading books growing up? Did you write essays in school a lot?
Well, I did write a lot, but I read over 300 books a year in middle school, and I really enjoyed reading. I love books. The prequels, my 8th grade teacher that I really try to dedicate and give this book to, because without her and teachers, I kind of wouldn't be where I am. She was the one that pushed me to keep writing and reading, and she loved the prequels, and she would frequently check on me in high school and how it was going. So she really pushed me to write the series. She's passed away because of breast cancer, but she was really influential in my life in that aspect. So I've tried to dedicate that book into the blaze more towards her, because without her, I don't really think I would be here today. I've always loved writing in that, but you have kids and get married and kind of life goes on, and I didn't think anyone would want to read it, and then I just took a chance last year and published it, and people love it like crazy. So I've been writing ever since.
Which is a lesson to everybody, right? That's a lesson to not only yourself, but everybody. They always say once you break out your comfort zone, break out that shell, good things is bound to happen on the other side. So again, props to you for
congrats, man.
Breaking that fear and actually releasing that stuff, because you never know.
That's true. But did I hear you say you wrote the Flair Chronicles when you was in high school?
Yeah, so Into the Blaze, I wrote it all through high school, and then book 2 and book 3 in the series, I wrote less than 6 months. I wrote them last year, basically, towards the end of the year. So, but that book, I told everyone I was going to be a writer, and I just kept writing in high school and pieced it together, you know, along with working and sports and that. And I published it last year, you know, so I did it.
Wow, wait, so what year did you graduate? And you say you just now published it too?
Yeah, so me and my wife both graduated 2009 at Gibson Southern. We were high school sweethearts. So 15 years. It was 15 years, basically. The newsletter, I do the newsletter just to try to give back to local authors and businesses or podcasts, and, you know, just trying to give back to the community. But it also has a lot of updates. It has news on new series. It has merchandise, you know, and people kept asking me, like, oh, I wanted to see pictures of your travel. Like, beginning of this year, it was March, April time. We drove probably 3,000 miles, roughly a little over, in about 3 weekends. So we went to Iowa, then we went to Florida. I was a guest reader there. I was one of the best ones they had. And then we went to Iowa State Festival for their book. And then I went to Ohio and then Jasper. So for 4 weekends, I was kind of out of state, out of the area. And people's like, we really want to see pictures of the travel and the beaches and kind of all your adventures. So I was like, well, I'll just throw it in the newsletter, and then everyone can see all the travels and where I go. And then, you know, it's great exposure for businesses and authors that, you know, they may not have that exposure and need that exposure, or businesses just looking, or even podcasts or whatever, just looking for a free shout out, you know, and some exposure. So I was like, that's my small part I can give back and help the community and help youth and help people. And so it's just a good thing all around. And then it has fantasy-filled cooking recipes too. So I met a guy, and he was like, you know what? Yeah, he was like, I used to do cooking recipes, and people loved it, and they would always remember me by my cooking recipes on my newsletter. I'm like, that's a great idea. So I'm going to add it, but I'm going to add it like fantasy theme, since I write fantasy books. So then everyone can cook a free recipe once a month.
So what kind of recipes? What kind of recipes though?
So I mean, there's bread recipes, there's non-alcoholic drink recipes, there's meat and potato recipes. I try to do it like whatever the theme is, or whatever the month is. If it's really hot, you want something cool, or, you know, holiday time and that kind of thing. It just depends really what it is. But I mean, I name them after either like maybe like leaders of the bad people, or I'll do like street fighters, or, you know, the street team, things like that. But I try to think creatively of like integrate it. But I always put the source, and then I'll put AKA whatever it's called in the source. But it's just a fun little way, you know what I mean?
Street Fighter, you got me on Street Fighter. When you said Street Fighter, that's when you got me, man.
You could never go wrong with Street Fighter. You could never go wrong with Street Fighter.
You can.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, we're gonna jump into some topics, and we want to get your take. Are you into politics or in Donald Trump?
So I try to stay out of that stuff, being an author, just because I have seen people get a kind of whiplash, I guess, no matter what side they're on. So I've really tried to stay neutral ground, just because my readers come from all races and all ages and all walks of life, you know what I mean? So yeah, I welcome all, it doesn't matter who you are. If you love a book, and it brings everybody together, no matter who they are or where they're from. So I try to stay neutral ground and spread kindness and love, man. That's what I'm about. Open inspiration.
We was trying to get a little insight here. I was trying to get a little peek to see what side you going on, because my next question was going to ask, how do you feel about what's going on in the world today, especially now that he got these tariffs going on? Like, is it affecting your business too as well? Like, I know you say you travel a lot, and also you write down recipes in your book. I mean, is it affecting you personally, or?
I mean, it will because of shipping, because across the border, because of duties. And all my publishers are not in the U.S. They're outside of the U.S. So if I want physical books, then I will either have to pay more for shipping, or it might be a higher price here in the U.S. than where it originates from, where that publisher is. So it does affect me, and then it affects. I've got readers all across the globe. So if I was to send them a book, or my merchandise, and my map, or my coffee mugs, or any of my other stuff I sell, then I pay more in shipping and things because of duties as well. So it does affect me kind of on all fronts in that aspect.
Is it more on you than it was before? I mean, because I don't know what the shipping costs for that.
I mean, shipping has like drastically increased, a huge increase. It's really amazing. Even the USPS, I could ship any stack of books, any box, for $4.63. Okay, a flat rate. Now it is $4.63 plus another 63 cents per pound to anywhere in the U.S. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but what used to cost $4.63, just 7 books cost almost $10 to ship anywhere. So it definitely is a huge increase, and I've tried not to pass that on to my customers, but I mean, at some point I can't absorb so much, because you can only sell a book for, or a merchandise for X amount without kind of ripping people off, and I don't believe in ripping people off. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I bet it is. Now you was telling me that you got 3 kids now? You got 3 kids, right? 3?
Yep. Yeah, so all boys. I've got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and then the 5 and 6-year-old are 10 months apart.
So how do they feel about you writing books? Like, are they inspired? Are they trying to be writers themselves, or?
I don't know. I think they love me writing books, and every time we see a dragon or a book, they're like, hey, that looks like Daddy's book. That looks like, that's cool. That's a dragon. Like, especially my younger 2. And my oldest son, he really likes I'm writing in that, but he's really been about his faith and God, and been really religious lately. So that's kind of where his focus is in working. He is proud of me, but he just works all the time, and he's really been trying to go to church more and that kind of thing. But the younger 2, they love the book, and anytime I take them to a book signing, they're like, hey, my dad writes dragons. This is his book. I mean, they just advertise and show people. It's pretty cool,
Gotta be a good feeling. Let me ask you, have you ever thought about doing a children's book?
I haven't, just because it's a little more challenging to do, and it's hard to get a fantasy book, like a fantasy idea, in a children's book, you know what I mean? But one of the things that I'm going to do is one of my next covers for like the journal of the main character or prequel, I'm going to have a 6th grader. So I went and spoke to 5th graders a couple months ago, So the 5th grader, that's going to be a 6th grader, I'm going to have her do the drawing and do the cover for one of the books, and I'm going to pay her for that. So that'll be another way that I give back to hopefully help her inspire and follow her dreams of drawing and artistry, because she's a really good drawer. So, if I was in her shoes and I was 6th grade and that would be that would be awesome to have my name on a cover and by an author and, be able to go everywhere. And so it's just one way to give back. And I think she's pretty excited about it. So.
You sound like she ready to brag.
Yeah, she is. She's very sweet and very kind though, and she's very humble, man. And she can draw. I mean, she's got the talent. So I just really want to inspire youth and young people to follow their dreams and follow their talents, and really kind of break the norm of what society tells you to do. And if I can do that and give back and help someone do that, then hey, I'm all for it.
You were saying something about you go to schools, so you inspiring kids. What's some of the things the kids ask you when you be going to the school? Like, what's a frequent question that they ask you?
Well, a lot of times they'll say, hey, I have this and this. Can I write? Or can I do this? Or what's it? Can I get help? Me and my friends have a little manuscript that we're writing a book. Can you help me? Or can you edit? Or what's the coolest place you've been? Or hey, pictures of travel. And a lot of those are frequently, and I tell anyone, even indie authors, like, hey, I'll help go over the manuscript, I'll help go over edits, just let me know. I'm always willing to help. And I always tell youth, because I've been asked multiple times, like, hey, can I do this? Like, is this okay? And I'll tell them, hey, you follow your dreams. Don't let anyone tell you can't do this. You can do this. Follow your dreams. You can be anybody you want to be. And I think that hope and inspiration is what the world kind of needs more of, and especially with what's going on. So I try to be that beacon and light and help. And I've talked to a lot of kids now. I've talked to a lot of youth, and it's humbling seeing a kid light up being in 5th grade or middle school, and you just made their day or just gave them that hope and inspiration. It's really life-changing. So that particular day, I end up signing my author cards I gave out to everyone, and then a lot of people want me to draw like a stick figure or something like that. And then I gave away books for everyone's birthday that day too. So
that's dope.
Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice.
I got 3 questions for you real quick. 3 quick questions, and they're all kind of similar.
Okay.
I need you to name for me, Ryan, your favorite book of all time, your favorite movie of all time, and your favorite author of all time.
So my favorite book would be anything Dragonlance. I've always loved Dragonlance. I've got about 40 or 50 of them. I've got a lot of them, but they are written by Tracy and Margaret Weiss. So Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss, they've been my favorite authors for a long time. And really, favorite movie, wow, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all those are really right up my alley.
I knew it. I knew he was gonna say. I was gonna go there with you, but I was gonna go. So have you seen the new Dungeons and Dragons? Have you seen the last one that just came out?
Yeah, I actually seen it at theaters, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of people kind of bashed it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. It really followed the lore of Dungeons and Dragons too. It was old school kind of lore, but it followed it pretty closely. So, and it had some comedy, and some quirks in it, but it was still pretty good.
I seen it. I seen a little bit of it too as well. It was decent. It was decent. I'm more of a action pack. It had a little bit of action in there for me, but of course, you always got to have the magic and the sorcery and the witches and casting spells.
Yeah. Have you ever?
I mean, it followed the old lore. Yeah, it followed the old lore. So I mean, it didn't have as much action because it followed the old kind of like lore and schematics, which is why it got bashed mainly because it didn't have enough action. But the people that loved it grew up with D&D, and since they were little, so they knew kind of the background history, and people loved it for that.
Have you ever tried to write a script before?
I have not. I've tried to learn, and I know an author that does that because he writes horror scripts and he writes horror books. And so I've talked to him quite a few times about how to do that. And if I had more time, I'd love to learn, though. I'm always open to learning new things.
Yeah, I always wanted to know how big of a difference it was because I figured, I mean, of course, you got your story, of course, but then, like you said, writing the script, the entry to the scene, what I mean, how much different it was. I just want to know if you ever had that experience because I figured it'd be totally different, basically.
Yeah, my understanding is a script is more like, such and such John said. Like, it's really raw, basic, because the director is the one that captures the emotions and screenplay and, how the world kind of works. Where a book kind of gives you that immersive feeling because you can describe it more and you can go in more in detail. Whereas script for a movie is, the script for the movie is just like, here, director, here's this. You do what
dialogue.
You want with it, and
you just pretty much get dialogue off
a
script. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they both ladies?
No, they're actually men. So interesting thing about Dragonlance is it is based off a video game back 40 years ago. So they designed this video game and they said, hey, we can make a book out of it. And then they drew this map. And so when I draw my maps, I was like, hey, I want to write 300 books. I want a map I can make so big I can do whatever. And then it sold like crazy. So today they've got almost 300 or more books, and they've got over 60 authors that have collaborated with them in that realm, their realm and their books. So I was like, that's cool. I would do something like that. So yeah, I've always loved Dragonlance since I was a kid.
So I got two questions for you. Go ahead. No,
I was about to say, shout out to all the men named Margaret in the world. Shout out to all the men named Margaret. shout out to all the men Maggies out there.
I know, right? Well, my two-part question is: do you play video games? What are the video games? And have you ever thought about making a video game now that you're an author and you're trying to be a script writer too as well? Have you ever thought about making a video game?
Yeah, because it's just hex, it's just binary. So I have a associate's degree and I'm one class away from my bachelor's in network communications and IT. I've got over 20 years in computer experience. I've got a minor in business management and engineering. So I've got 20 years experience with that too. And I was really good with computers growing up. I did a lot of networking. I did a lot of classes. So hypothetically, it's pretty easy to do because it's just coding and I'm good at that. And I do try to play games. I just don't have as much time as I used to. But I did play the PS5 a lot when I did on my computer. And yeah. So I like a lot of RTSs or Assassin's Creed, Ratchet and Clank, things like that. Total War games.
Old school games. Old school. So did you play it more on the PS5 or 4, or did you play it mostly on your laptop or your desktop?
So I played a PS2 a lot and PS1 growing up, but then I worked all summer when I was 14 doing construction, and I bought my own desktop, and then I played mainly desktop. And ever since then, I played more desktop, but my oldest boy a couple years ago wanted a PS5, so we do play the PS5 quite a bit now just because it's convenient, and my younger two boys like playing it too. So
my next question is, looking into the future, where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years?
I would, what I hope is that I'm a New York Times bestseller. I am selling multiple books. I've got multiple series. I'm helping people, inspiring people around the world. In the future, I want to open up my own warehouse to give back to the local community and local economy by providing high-paying jobs with good insurance, but also for my merchandise so I can ship it everywhere to national and global distributions. And then I also want to own a bookstore where I can give creative people and artists and craft people, but also local authors, a place to sell their books. Because right now there isn't a place like that around where I live. So you either do manufacturing or something like that, and that's really all your choices. And there really isn't a good bookstore unless you go, almost 40 minutes away. So
wow,
just preferably, yeah. So I hope to give back to the community and really, support the ones that supported me. And I really hope to be a beacon of inspiration, hope for the youth, and that's all I really wanted in the beginning, is just to change a life. And I'm a dreamer chasing a dream, and that's what we do. We change lives and chase our dreams.
Those are the type of people that I want to win right there. Because I believe people like you. There's a lot of people that say they're going to do this and do that once they get to a certain level, and then once they get there, you never hear from them. They don't do nothing. But I believe people like you. So I hope you do get there, because that'd be a really good look, not only for you, Indiana, but just like you said, the world in general, because we need that type of people that to step up in the world right now. I got one thing I wanted to add to you real quick, because like I said, I went to the website, checked out everything. If you could compare Azrin to any place on the globe, just a picture wise, or like what inspired you as far as Azrin, what could I compare Azrin to?
It's really a mesh of the whole globe. Imagine it put together, but every piece, not really piece in itself because it's all smushed together, but imagine each section have their own mountains or their own terrain, their own people, but even though their own people, they all work together into a bigger scheme of things and a grander scheme of things that most people won't see or know unless you go explore. And I love traveling and I love exploring, so it's kind of right up my alley in that aspect.
I'm definitely going to get into it. I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to have the picture kind of painted in my head already. I wanted to know if I was in the forest, if it was a village type vibe, if it was I just wanted to know what was in your brain when you was writing. Get to it.
Yeah, Azrin's different. It's got a blend of everything. It's a multi-culture, multi-people, multi-terrain place. It's not just one thing. You've got your deserts, and you've got your castles surrounded by forest. You've got your towers of old magic surrounded by dark forest, but you got your small towns and your village people and your castle docks and your elves and your dwarfs in the mountains, and really a little bit of everything. It's very diverse.
Ryan, you keep it 1,000 with me, Ryan. You write this all sober?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You a bad man. Because like you said, once you get a certain age and life pounds on you, we tend to lose our child in us. We tend to lose that imaginative state, and sometimes we gotta smoke, drink, or whatever to get to a certain level to get back to that. But shout out to you, because that's a lot, That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a hell of an imagination. I'm gonna say that. That's for sure.
No, and to keep going with it. That's what I'm saying. To keep going with it. like you said, now you're branching off into the Dracula and the werewolf stuff. Hey man, you a bad man, man. You a bad man. That's one thing I can say. You a bad boy.
Thank
Yes, and I want you to don't forget about us when it's come time to make a video game. We definitely want our characters too.
I just want my name. Hey, just name an elf after Evan, and I'll be happy. Just name an elf after Evan, and I'll be good. Evan the elf.
Oh, well, you know, I do. If you guys follow my author page, I do polls on my author page where I give people a chance to have dedications in books that's printed, and these. Between the 2 books coming up, there'll be 10 or 11 people that will have their names printed in about 3,000 copies each. So they'll be known across the world, you know. So I do give people a chance. I do try to give, you know, engagement. Excuse me. One person's going to win a free book. I do all kinds of stuff. Name a dragon, or you can name, hey, what should I write next? Or
that's what I want to
name
be.
the world, or
that's what I
just really anything. I do a lot.
I want to be a dragon, Ryan.
So
if you're going, make a character, make sure I'm a dragon.
Be a dragon. All right. Well, hey, you know, my spicy romancy series has dragon riders in it, so that's right up your alley. You can be a dragon rider. There you go.
Wow.
Well, we know we definitely use this platform for people so they can excel, because this platform ain't just for us, it's for everybody else too. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, Ryan, for sure. And just keep us in mind, man. Anytime, even in the movies, you know, we can act too now. We can act too, you know. Put us a little part in there, you know. You can make up something for us.
It's humbling, you know.
That's for sure.
It's humbling, man. It really is. I mean, I look back and I couldn't tell you last year that I would be in this exact same spot. You know, I couldn't tell you I'd have readers in Bulgaria or India or Australia or New Zealand or Europe that knew my name and read my stuff, you know, when I first published that last year, or even when I was on the radio last year, just, you know, brand new. I mean, and they looked, you got all these events coming up and book signings. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. But looking forward, I never would have thought. So I'm hearing that a lot. People are like, hey, don't forget us little guys and don't forget me. And I'm like, I would never forget anyone that helped me along the way. But to me, it's humbling, you know, because I never see myself that, and I never pictured where I would be at today. So amen to that.
Yes.
Amen.
Humble, you humble. That's why, because you don't look at yourself as that. You humble. That's good though. Well, Brian, yeah, we do appreciate you coming on. I know we took too much of your time here, but we do appreciate you, and we always would like you to come on whenever you want to. You know, just hit us up, and we always like you to come on, especially when you got new books or something going on out in London. You know, maybe here in Indianapolis, we would love to tag along with you, you know, and maybe record something along the way, you know, get you a little documentary going on at the same time, you know.
Yes, sir.
I think that'll be dope.
Well, there's the Me Cafe Community Center there at Turkin Park. I think it's Turkin Park, but they've got a couple. They got one in the college and one in the other. There in Indianapolis, but the owner, she's a basketball player, was a basketball player, but Wanda, she helps a lot, and they do a lot for the community, so I take my boys up there and have signings. When the new stuff comes out, I'd love to come back, and you know, when my Spicy Romancy series comes out too, I'd love to come back as well. So that map, if you guys like the current map, the new map is even bigger. I mean, it's got orgs and gnomes and fairies and everything,
shit.
and that other map.
Shit.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, you can never have enough. You can never have enough.
You can.
Since you brought up basketball real quick, you are you a fan of basketball? Are you paying attention to the NBA Finals right now?
No, so my sisters played it. My second oldest sister and the one right below me. So I went to a lot of basketball games, but my coordination is not that well. It's not pretty, so I steered away from that, and I did wrestling and football.
Okay.
So
who's your favorite
but my
football
sisters,
team?
they love basketball.
Who's your favorite football team, Ryan?
Oh, man. So,
Put you on the
Indianapolis,
spot.
you got to say Colts, right? But I do root for the Saints and the
Okay.
oh man, what is it? They're in New Orleans. I forget the team.
That's the Saints.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, that's the Saints. New
No,
Orleans.
the Saints. Okay, yep, I do
that's
watch
the Saints.
Yeah.
What made
Okay.
you choose the Saints?
Yep, I do watch them.
I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Why you pick the Saints?
The Colts lost a lot. So the Colts lost a lot. They was always my big fan, but they kept losing. And me and my wife, when we first started dating and was a gay, we watched a lot of football because we was like an income-based apartment and didn't have really nothing but generic TV. And so we started watching football a little bit more, and they were good. So yeah. But I mean, you got to be a Colts fan living in Indiana. I mean, it's just tradition, heritage.
Well, you don't have to
Some
be,
of it.
but you don't have to be, but
What?
say it's preferred. No, it's preferred.
Most people are. Yeah.
So, hey, did you want to give any shouts out to anybody? Definitely give out your social media and any of your social media pages where they can find some of your work.
Yeah. So I just officially have my name on Google Business. I have a Google Business profile now. You just search up Ryan Null. It should show it. If not, contact me on social media. My new website's going to be authorryannull.com. It's going to be really sweet. A lot of cool features. And most of my social media is Ryan John Null or Ryan Null Official. I think the Facebook is Ryan Null Official. Instagram's Ryan John Null. Twitter's the Flare Chronicles or Flare Chronicles. It's generally the same, but if you Google it, then you can find my Goodreads page. I have a blog there. I have a YouTube channel called the Flare Chronicles. I also do Substack. I have a TikTok. I think TikTok's the Flare Chronicles too. But I just really want to shout out to all the people that have helped me along the way, that have been kind and supportive and really believed in me and that really thought I could do something and that pushed me. But I also want to give a shout out to all the dreamers out there and people that, have a goal and inspiration and really want to make something of themselves. Don't quit. Just keep on going. And I'm here as well. My emails are ryannull921@gmail.com. Google me. You can find my official Google business page on Google Maps. Even if you Google Maps, put my name in, you'll find me right here in Oakland City. So officially in Google Maps now too. So I just love helping people, and thank you to all the ones that have really helped me along the way. It's an honor.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on, Ryan. www.authorryannull.com is where you can reach this gentleman right here. And like I said, I really appreciate you coming on, giving us the time. And just keep up with us, man. We definitely want to see your progress going on.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
No problem. And thank you, Let You Know fans, for watching. Please like and subscribe our page. Let You Know 61@gmail.com is where you can reach us if you want to holler at us anytime. You want to leave a comment anytime. And we're going to end the note. Thanks again, Ryan. And we out of here.
I don't get no shout out. I don't get to do a shout out.
Yes, sir. You always welcome to do a shout out.
Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton.
Why Tyrese Halliburton?
You know why? 0 field goals in a game 5 is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Well, that's on a different note, man. But yeah, Let You Know podcast, and we out. Thank you again, Ryan, and we'll see you down the line. Thank you, sir.
Let you know.